Hi everyone, welcome back to GrantMe. Today I'm here with Megan and we're going to talk to her about the scholarships she won, her journey, and a little bit about how GrantMe helped her. So Megan, you can first go ahead and just introduce yourself.
My name is Megan. I just graduated high school and I'm actually going to go to Ryerson University for film studies. I think that's a solid introduction.
Yeah, perfect. That is. And how did you find GrantMe, Megan?
um, an ad on Instagram, to be honest.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
it's all over my Snapchat and my Instagram, so that's how I found it.
Okay, perfect. And tell us a little bit about the scholarship you won, or if you won multiple, or just about your winnings in general.
So I applied to a lot of scholarships, but kind of like the more important ones that I won is the Ryerson President Scholarship, as well as like the general entrance awards that comes along with it. And those total up to I believe like $56,000 over 4 years, which I am absolutely ecstatic. That is more than enough for me. But yeah, it's just like school-based scholarships, to be honest, are the easiest ones in my opinion to win and kind of maintain. There's a lot of logistics that go along with it. So yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, no, you should be excited. That's really exciting. And so I'm assuming now that you're going to Ryerson then.
Yes, I am.
Okay, perfect. And so was this Ryerson scholarship, was it an automatic scholarship? Was it something that you had to write an essay for? What was your journey for applying to that scholarship?
So I kind of technically won two. So there's one that's like a general entrance award where it's just like based on your grades. And then there's another one where it was the president's entrance scholarship, which is like awarded to 12 students a year, depending on what program and what section of the school you're going into. So I won the President's Scholarship for the Communication and Design program. So I did have to write an essay for the President's Scholarship. So I needed 2 letters of reference. I needed to write one essay, kind of about a particular project that I kind of started, or just a piece in general about myself. And I just wrote about a company that I co-founded with my sisters. And then I also did have to write about all of like my leadership positions that I had throughout high school. And I believe that was and you kind of like have to submit your grades and that kind of thing, but that's kind of a given when you're applying for that kind of scholarship.
Yeah, and I can imagine that's like super stressful, writing about like all of your achievements is great, but then you're always thinking, oh, like, am I doing this in the best way possible? So how was that like writing experience for you? And did GrantMe help you with that?
That's why I love GrantMe so much, because it kind of pushed me from the beginning of the scholarship process in September to like kind of like rewrite and rewrite how I described said leadership positions, because you think you're describing it, but you're not like optimizing it. So you have to like kind of really milk every achievement that you made, and you have to like really put in the numbers and the hours and the effort that you put into those positions. And you kind of like you focus less on the general stuff, and then GrantMe guides you to what the scholarship committees actually care about. If that
Exactly.
makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I think that's a skill that not a lot of people learn is rather than describing your experiences, you're actually analytically kind of taking out the best parts of it. And that's what you're showing to the scholarship committees, which is the best way to do it because that's when you're really optimizing your experiences. So I'm super glad that the editing team helped you as well as our essay wizard, which is a great tool. And so I'm kind of thinking, what was your biggest challenge when applying to these scholarships? For some students, it's motivation, for others, it's the actual writing. So what was yours?
The biggest challenge to me was honestly kind of like getting those emails back of like, oh, you didn't win this one. Oh, you didn't win this one. And it's like you apply to so many that like getting those constant rejection emails gets quite frustrating, and it's honestly demotivating. So you kind of stop applying to scholarships for a while because you're just like, oh, I'll never win this one. Oh, I'll never win this one. But I went into applying for this scholarship with that same mentality, but then I ended up winning. So, like I just like kind of like just push yourself constantly, because like you don't know what you might win. And to be honest, like I didn't expect this one either. But yeah, GrantMe kind of like sent me so many notifications to the point that I was like, you know what? I'll continue applying for scholarships. It's okay. It's fine.
You have nothing to lose.
Exactly, literally. And after a while, you have so many essays and so many things already built for you that applying a scholarship is a piece of cake because you just have to like modify it to whichever scholarship you're applying to now. But it's kind of like the same essays over and over again.
Yeah,
So
honestly, yeah, I think that's the beauty in kind of optimizing your writing and workshopping it over and over again, because at the end you have this amazing piece of writing that you have that you can just reuse and adjust for other scholarships, and that's like a whole system that you've built yourself. So that's like super great. And just for the by the way, the demotivating aspect of it is super common. That's nearly every student I talk to says that as well. And this is a human thing, right? Like you just keep seeing these rejections, and then one day you get that 40K entrance and you're like, oh, all of those scholarships that I applied to were probably worth less than this one that I got, and then it's just so worth it. So how did you get over that that demotivation? I know you said GrantMe, GrantMe notifications helped and our support helped, but was it also just, picking yourself back up? Was it the support from your friends and family?
I kind of like, especially during the pandemic and applying a scholarship during the pandemic, it was quite difficult to like stay level-headed and like trying to focus on the future and like what things are going to look like. So what I did was I kind of like just pondered and journaled and thought about like what are the consequences of me not applying versus applying and not getting them.
Right.
I'm at home anyways, so instead of sitting around and watching La La Land for like the 10th time, I might as well just rewrite this essay and submit it to the scholarship. So to be honest, it was my friends that kind of talked me out of it. And again, just winning the small things kind of motivated me. So I would suggest like maybe like applying like locally, because those scholarships are a little easier to get. So like there's a lot of town scholarships. So yeah, those would be the most motivating thing, kind of like winning one thing, small thing, and then like just continue.
Yeah. So we've talked about a little bit about like your scholarship journey. We've talked about you winning the scholarship. So let's talk a little bit about your future. You said that for writing scholarships, how you stay motivated towards that is you think, okay, well, what am I going to do anyway? Let me just write this. But I know you said you wanted to do film and you're going to Ryerson. How do you stay motivated towards your goals in the future? And how did you decide film? And is that something that when you see in the future that motivates you, that in itself motivates you to get you there? Or do you have certain values or things you just look forward to?
It was actually my parents that helped me decide. I wanted to be a lawyer for the longest time, up until around like a year and a half ago, where like I took a communication like TV editing course in high school, and I was like, I kind of fell in love with it. And then I was talking to my parents and I was like, I kind of don't know if I want to be a lawyer anymore. And they were like, why not pursue that? It's a booming industry. It'll be difficult to get into, but if you like, you got to do what you enjoy in life, to be honest. And if you can make a living out of it, even if I'm living in a small studio apartment with GrantMe, I won't have loans. So that's all that matters. But like what keeps me motivated in the future is just the point that like life is so short, to the point that why would I be doing something that if I didn't really love it? And with film, I think it's such a good balance between actual work and kind of doing what you love, because the end product is so motivating. Literally, you watch what you make and you're like, well, I want to continue doing this. So that's why going into film was such an easy decision for me, and kind of pushing myself towards that end goal is so easy, just because the end product is so valuable.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I agree. Life is too short to do something that you hate. And something that I tell students a lot is when you're thinking of your future and what you want to do, you want to base it off of your values, because, even with like tech moving and the film industry moving, all of that, like your jobs can change within the next year or two, right? So kind of, looking towards the future with something you value. And for you, that's the fact that life is short and you want to do something you love is amazing. It might have been law and now it's film, but either way, you would have been happy in different points of your life. So that's an amazing insight to have. And I'm super excited for you. And I'm just wondering, what particular position are you looking for in filming? You said it was an editing course, so I'm assuming maybe it's an editor.
I'm kind of going into university with an open mind. I don't mind being whatever as long as I'm involved in the process. But I'm looking more towards like editing and kind of producing, whether it's kind of like within the film set of like directing everyone, that type of producing, or just like producing in general. So like reading scripts and helping fund projects.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's so cool. And that's amazing. You should go to, into university with an open mind because when you're in high school, everything really is just planned out for you. And then when you're in university, you have like the options and like not that no one is guiding you, people are guiding you in university. But then it's like your choice to do whatever you want. And then plus there's different clubs and there's brilliant profs there that you can get advice from. And that's why it's such a wonderful place to explore your options.
I also think that like in high school, you have a really narrow view of how many jobs there are in the world. But then like you ask your parents how many positions they have in the company that they're working for, and it's like an endless amount of positions. Yeah. Like I never knew that job existed. So I think like going to university with an open mind really helps kind of narrow what you really want to do in life instead of it just being this open general of like, I want to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer. kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And when I was in high school, I remember my teacher telling me that in the next 10 years, there's going to be jobs that are going to basically come up that haven't even existed then, right? And that's so true. And that's why I think it's wonderful.
Coordinator. Who would have thought that would have been a job?
Yeah. Exactly. So just to end this interview off, do you have any advice or any comments for anyone that's looking into scholarships or looking into GrantMe for that matter?
You know what? I should probably have prepared for this. I would just say keep your head up and apply to as many as you can, recycle those scholarships, submit them, let people edit them. And even if it's just your friends and you want to ask them for encouragement. And when you write your essays, make sure you stay true to yourself because it's the uniqueness in your essay that's going to win it for you, not the technicality.
Yeah. And I think authenticity and being compelling go hand in hand. And that only happens when you're being authentic in your own scholarship and in your own writing. And you can very obviously tell when someone's being inauthentic versus when someone's being authentic. Thank you so much for doing this interview with me.
Thank you. And
congratulations on all your success. We're super, super excited to see where you'll go. And I will see you guys all next time.